Okay, hello guys. My video today is going to be on Gotham City Imposters. It's the review following from the Let's Play last week. If you didn't watch that, please go watch it because I kind of go over a few things that we're going to be talking about today. Okay, so I've just kind of gone through the loadouts and the others. Well, actually, let's be honest, I haven't. You probably just saw what I'm going to do, but I'm actually going to do this part before I record me going through the loadouts and the customizational part. So yeah, I'm going to show you that first because that kind of ties into what I'm going to say about it now. So you've kind of seen it, and I've kind of gone through it with you, and you've kind of seen what it can do and how much there is to it. So I'll talk about that a little bit later. First, let's go through the background. As always, I've got the review format up, and I'll kind of go through it so I can keep it kind of fair and, you know, as you know what I mean. It's then valid compared to other games of similar types. Okay, so it was published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. I don't think they've done too much in the world of gaming, but obviously they're Warner Bros., so they own all the everything that goes along with the Warner Brothers movie, all that type of thing. It was developed by Monolith, which I think have done other bits and pieces. I'll just open that up. Style of genre themes. It's multiplayer only, but it's quite a large range of multiplayer only, as you saw. Also, it is quite a, as I said in my Let's Play, it's quite quirky and, you know, fairly, like, you know, crazy themes and just trying to create its own unique style. So it can kind of get away from and make itself stand out from that, other type of FPS, multiplayer only, where, you know, well, other type of FPS in general, I suppose. So yeah, my initial response to it was quite good. I quite liked it. I actually saw someone on YouTube play it first, and I thought, you know what, I'll pick this up when I get my computer. I picked it up, and it was one of the first games I played because it went free to play, which is great, and I'm very pleased I picked it up. Although, you know, as one of the first things you actually see is the matchmaking screen, the server, you know, it's terrible. But I'll kind of go into that. You may have heard in other reviews which I've done that Gimmicks is on the list. First on the gameplay list, which is now moving into. Gimmicks is kind of like, I always use this example, but it's kind of like the Portal gun in Portal. It adds to it, makes it itself unique, it adds something to the story, but it essentially is just a extra little thing added onto the game. So, in this instance, I'm going to say that there is a slight gimmick, and that slight gimmick is the, like I said earlier in the style and themes, is the craziness and the creative loadouts and customization. It's only a small gimmick because it kind of unique. It kind of adds to the uniqueness. Gimmicks is like how unique the game is, really. So yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's quite good. I like it. I don't think it adds too much to the actual gameplay, but it does add something to the style. And I don't think it adds too much to the atmosphere either, but it does add something to. And I was kind of saying in my Let's Play that doesn't really add to the realism. I was talking about realism a lot in that video, but it doesn't add to that, to be honest, because I was talking about how realism and how much you can believe in it. I can believe in it, but it doesn't mean it adds to the realism. But I don't mind it being there. It doesn't detract and it doesn't add anything to it really, to the actual core gameplay. It just adds something to really introduce the game to new people. Okay, so I think overall it's pretty fun gameplay overall. I think it's as a multiplayer only FPS, I think it's fun. I think that they have added in that the trampolines and the jetpacks, all that type of thing, and the roller skates, all that type of thing adds to the gameplay a lot. I think that adds to the funness, if you like, of the game. It adds to how much stupid stuff you can do in the game, you know. People are saying about how in Battlefield you can do lots of different stupid stuff with like the cars and the tanks. That's one of those things. It adds to the gameplay, it adds to the game, and it makes the overall experience very, very fun. And you know, that adds to the experience, which I think is it's great. I think that's a really good addition to the game. I think it makes it very fast, and you know, it makes it flow a little bit more rather than just running around the map. That's one of the things I didn't enjoy about Call of Duty when I used to play that. It was just you kind of running around the map. In Battlefield they kind of get over that with vehicles, but yeah, I didn't enjoy being a sniper staying too close. I didn't enjoy being like an infantry running around. So that kind of gets over that movement and more throws you into the battle quicker, which I like, and I think it's a great addition. I think the level design, I talked about this in Chivalry, how it's not really level design, it's more how maps are created. They're average, again, kind of like Chivalry. They're average. Then, like Chivalry. They're not. I mean, with the trampolines, obviously that adds to the level design. I'm going to say quite a lot because you can add like tall, high-rise buildings, and there are a few bits where you can kind of jump on top of buildings and then get into the, like, come down on top of them with jetpacks, that kind of thing. That's one of the great things about it, and you can like spear people in the air from air to ground, which I think is great. But that's more part of the addition of that extra little jetpacks and stuff rather than the level design. But it comes into level design. So I think when you kind of say those two, they're quite good. Those two combined, it's quite good. But I think separately, they're not as. They wouldn't be as good. But I think they would be more of a distraction, more of a annoyance. But when you add that level design where there's kind of places where you can kind of get round that, and you kind of saw it a little bit in my Let's Play where you can kind of get round, like in someone with a jetpack isn't massively overpowered to someone with a trampoline or with a roller skates. The level design kind of encompasses that because it's kind of, most of them are kind of squares with like a block in the middle, so you kind of just have to run around circles and kind of diagonal your way across the sides. So yeah, I think yeah. So overall, yeah, level design's good. Yeah. So to sum up gameplay, it works well. I think it adds like the trampolines and that lot, and the level design and the style are good parts of the game. As I said, the style doesn't really add to the game, but it does introduce you to the game, and it adds to the game, sorry, but it doesn't add to the gameplay. Whereas the trampolines and the jetpacks and the roller skates and the whatever else, glider, I think the other one was, they're all really good. I really like those additions because it kind of gets over the movement and gets you right into the battle and can actually aid you in battle, where like if you've got two people on jetpacks you can actually have an air fight, which is really fun. So yeah, that's good. Moving on to audio. Music kind of adds to the style as well. The music is very well designed for the style. It's kind of that crazy, creative, gives that off that kind of, you know, image, gives around that atmosphere. It's not too atmospheric, but it gives off that atmosphere. So yeah, sound effects. As I said in the Let's Play, the sound effects of the extra guns are really good. I really like the sound of the guns. They feel really meaty. Actually, I'll say another point about the gameplay. The actual guns actually feel really good. They actually fire really nicely, and they actually really, I like them a lot. I like how they feel. That adds into the sound effects with that as well. I think that's really good. I like how that all makes the game feel and plays. I like how it overall kind of takes into account that guns, you know, are gonna feel like that, and they're gonna have some fight back, you know, against you, and you're gonna have to keep them under control, even when you make them out of, you know, old bits of crap, like, you know, the missiles made out of bottles, that kind of thing. So yeah, I like that. So sound effects overall really good. I like how when you jump on a trampoline, it makes that like a spring noise, whirring, you know, that kind of thing. That's really I like that. It kind of adds to it. You can believe it, like I was saying in the realism. It doesn't detract from the game because you can believe that would happen within the style and within that game. Graphics, I think in my Let's Play they were cranked up to high. I'm pretty sure they shouldn't not be. So graphics wise, yeah, they're average. You can't. It's not terrible, but you know, it's playable. It's not like a Crisis 3 or Crisis 1 deal, but it is a really, you know, quite good. You know, it's playable, it's good enough, it does the job. It doesn't mean that it doesn't need to be improved, let's say. It doesn't need a extra little bit on it. It's good enough the way it is. So yeah, and I think I've also got down here the style suits the game and genre. Does the style suit the game and genre? That's kind of like how FTL kind of adds a little bit. The game and the graphic style adds to the game a tiny little bit. I think well, there's not really much uniqueness in the graphic style. I think it's done in Unreal, I believe. I can just check that for you. So I think no, it wasn't. It was done in Lytech Jupiter EX. I don't know what that. I've never heard of that one. Lithtech. Developed by Touchdown Entertainment. So yeah, it's not. I could mistake. Oh, I'm not too into looking at that and the engine types, and I could mistake it for Unreal. So yeah, you know, that if that says anything at all to you, then I've done my job, haven't I? But yeah, it's not too unique. The graphic style, like Minecraft's or FTL's, it's good. It's good enough. Does the job well. I wouldn't say it doesn't need to be improved, because not every game needs to look like Crisis 3, but at the same time, not every game needs to look as bad as and have that unique graphic style that Minecraft has, which is essentially just a bad graphic style, but has now become the staple of the game. So I would say that, if anything, it could improve itself, you know, and just become that little bit extra better. But it doesn't need to be. So it does its job, and it does it well. Moving on to the story, there is no story. Like I said with Chivalry, I can't rate it out of 40, which is what I'd usually do, which is kind of what you saw with FTL, because, well, I stated how the story was that. Go watch the review, go watch the Let's Play, blah blah blah. Go. It'll be in this playlist. There'll be a annotation at the end to go see the playlist, which will be on there. This is the 3rd episode in the playlist, I believe. So, yeah, I have to take away. The story is worth 10 points, so I have to take away 10 points, so I'll be at 30. There is no story here. It's just multiplayer only. As I've always said, multiplayer only is fine with me. If you want to make it multiplayer only and add to the multiplayer instead of making a crap story, which is essentially what I think Call of Duty's done. I heard Black Ops 2 actually was pretty good, but other than that, it's pretty crap, right? So you can tell all their effort, or most of their effort, you know, 90-85% of their effort goes into, at least 3/4 goes into the multiplayer. And as far as I can see, I want 100% in multiplayer, or I want 100% in campaign, or I want 50-50. I want a game that either takes into account for both and does both very well, or just does one excellent. And they've had a stab at just multiplayer and had a stab at really making multiplayer well, and you can see that with roller skates and trampolining. So I'm fine with that. Again, with like the graphics, doesn't need to be improved, doesn't need to be. It's fine where it is. It's an average. It's fine. It's good enough. I wouldn't want them to create a single player just because some people have criticised that. I think it's fine anyways. So, before I go into the conclusion, I kind of mentioned earlier in the background about the publishers and the creators being Monolith Productions and Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. So I'm kind of going to go through their games now if you're interested in what they've done before, because I was kind of going through and bringing up those pages and looking through as I was saying all of that. So 2012, Gotham City Imposters, that came out pretty recently by Monolith Productions. They also did Guardians of Middle Earth, which I believe was that. Yep, Guardians of Middle Earth. I heard that was fairly good. It was quite a good game, I heard. So they also did Fear 2, Fear they did, which were also pretty good games. The Matrix Online, I've never heard of that one. Sounds like a bad MMO, doesn't it? Let's see what else they got. And then the first ever game they made was in 1997, Blood. So they haven't really done many games over the years, but they've done some pretty good ones. The Matrix Online. Yeah, it doesn't look that good. Let's see, has he got a Metascore? I know some people disagree with Metascores, but at the end of the day, it gives you like it's about Matrix, right? It's about metrics. There you go. At the end of the day, I look at IGN sometimes for games and look at their game reviews. Not because I trust them, no, not at all, but just so I can get a look at the game and see what the game's about. They tell me what the game's about, and that's what I want to know. They give me a score at the end, but I don't give a crap about their score because their scores are you know, they're not great. The Matrix Online shutting down IGN. Okay, there you go, IGN again. Tell me what's going on, but I don't trust them for their scores anymore. For obvious reasons, it doesn't need to be going. It doesn't need to. You know, I don't need to go into that now. Okay. Products. Batman Arkham series. This is by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. So they did Batman Arkham series, which is obviously brilliant. Jacob's played Arkham City, I played Arkham Asylum. We both think they're great. So, you know, we kind of got both sides of that together. The Lego series. Oh, well, there you go. Another great series. Fear series, Spy Hunter series, Lord of the Rings Online, Mortal Kombat. Lord of the Rings Online just went free to play as well. You know, great. It was actually pretty good for what it was. You know, MMOs aren't the easiest thing to accomplish, especially in that period of time when WoW was, you know, it wasn't at its height, but it wasn't at its low either. I'd say that's about now. Even with Guild Wars 2 out, it's still not that low. When you look at its ratings, they're still making a bunch of money. Mortal Kombat series, obviously brilliant for fighting games. Obviously, if you like fighting games, you'd obviously heard of that. Fear series, Survival Hunter series, never played it actually. Lego series is awesome. Never mind. It's brought out Lord of the Rings, didn't they? So yeah, that's kind of what you're looking at. That's what they. That's kind of what you're looking at in terms of what this game has behind it. It was released for Microsoft, Windows, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. All online, I presume, because I haven't seen it as disc. Gotham City Imposters. Nope, doesn't look like they do it. Nope. Yep. Online only. Okay. Right. Back into the conclusion. Okay. So, overall, I think it's a very average game. I think it's not too bad, and I like playing it. It's just that the matchmaking isn't the best. Okay. And this kind of comes into replayability and longevity, because in the beginning it was a really good game and the matchmaking was really good, and I actually really appreciated how good the game was and how much customization there was, all this type of thing. I played it a lot. Now it's kind of gone downhill, and even I stopped playing it for a little while. As you know, I say even I, as if I was the biggest fan, which I wasn't. In fact, I really liked it, but I wasn't the biggest fan, because there just wasn't that longevity there. There was a lot of customization, but it just took too long to accomplish everything. And you know, so, and because it's multiplayer only, like I said before, I'd prefer they do multiplayer only, but obviously it has to be excellent multiplayer only to keep to really accomplish what I want and the reasons why I want it to be multiplayer only. So it didn't do it perfect, excellent, 100% score. It did it average, which means it didn't accomplish what I wanted out of a multiplayer only game. Which kind of damaged the replayability and the longevity, because the replayability just wasn't there, because one, people started to leave, which meant matchmaking wasn't good, so you didn't really want to play more than once. Once you found a group, you were staying in that group. You didn't want to come back out, go back in again, because it would take too long. It just wasn't like that. It still isn't like that. It's, you know, it's not good. And again, I don't know if that's their fault for bad matchmaking, or if it's just not enough people playing. I assume it's the latter. Now, longevity. Oh, Jacob's just give me a little message. Okay, well, he'll be ready to do stuff in about a few minutes. Okay, anyway, so yeah, the longevity was a little bit damaged by that. Well, actually, it's quite a lot damaged. I don't play it much anymore. To be honest, it's just sitting on my desktop. This is the first time I've touched it in many, many, many months. Like, at least 4. I know that doesn't sound like many months, but for a game that's multiplayer only, it's one of the, it's like, compared to what I used to do, like how much I used to play it is down a lot, because I used to play it, you know, sometimes daily, weekly. Now I'm playing it never. Which, you know, although it's gone down, you know, it's gone down to nothing. And this is the first time I played it for a reason, you know, other than just to have fun. So, it's not exactly great, is it? And if I wouldn't, I want to recommend it because of its customization and because of that lack of just fighting the whole time, because you're not racing around looking for people. Just because the maps just do that kind of thing. They're not. They all link up in certain directions. Like I said, a square with like most of them, like that big high-rise tower, like in Gotham, it maybe looks like, you know, in Dead of Night, which you saw on the Let's Play, I believe. And if not, then it's definitely on my channel, on our channel, sorry, before. A little bit selfish. On our channel before, because I've done videos on it before. Me and Jacob have both done videos on it before. It's like corridors, and they all lead out, and to create a diamond or a square. That's what I want. That's really good. That's really good, especially with the trampolines and all that kind of thing. It really is. A really good way of doing it, cutting down movement, because you're always getting that fast-paced action. But I can't recommend it. Getting back to the point, I want to recommend it because of those reasons, but I can't recommend it just because it just takes too long. Like, if me and Jacob are going to do a game on it now, you just don't get the amount of players that you want, and matchmaking just takes a little bit too long. It gets on your nerves sometimes. In the Let's Play, I think I got a little bit lucky, but for me, I don't know if it's my area or something like that, but it takes a while for matchmaking. But it's not. I'm kind of lingering on this map for a bit. It's not ages and ages and ages and ages, like too long. It's not like the full 20 minutes. It's just a little bit too long. Just a little bit too long that I'd prefer. But I got a lot of enjoyability out of it, so I'd recommend it for that. There's a lot of enjoyability out of it. And cost, I mean, there is no cost. it was 15 quid. It went down to no money at all, and you can get all. I presume you can get all of it without microtransactions. So you know that's good. That's good. I'd get it. If you have a computer that can run it, I'd get it now and just try it out because it's free to play and you can always uninstall it. It's not the end of the world. And you know you've got that little bit of war between Batman and Joker, which is really good. You know, I liked the Nolan trilogy. It's one of my favourite trilogies, favourite movie series. So, and I'm big into that kind of superhero thing, like Marvel and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I think I like that kind of style. That is the style. I like that, and I think a lot of people will appreciate that, and how that customization adds into that, and is kind of a mock and a parody of that start of that Batman series, because you kind of got a paper bag on your head rather than an actual cow, and essentially that's what Batman is. He's just a man in a suit. So there's kind of that little joke there, but overall, I don't want to give it a rating now because I never like making ratings in the video, just because unless they change. Like I kind of thought about doing it, and I thought, well, what happens if I change my mind? And if I change my mind before the release date, like if I say now it's going to be 40 out of 40, well, no, let's say 40 out of 40 because it's not going to be out of 40, which means which means it can't be taken as that. Let's say it's 40 out of 40, right? Sorry, I just got distracted. Jacob's just come back online. Steve, I think we're going to do a little bit of Portal or Diablo, I think. So yeah, I think that's quite a. I think what was I saying? Oh god damn it, Jacob! You distracted me now. Oh, come on. Yeah, 40 out of 40. That's where I was. Sorry, don't blame Jacob, not me. 40 out of 40. And then I write in and then I change my mind, and it's actually 30 out of 40. I'd have to do a whole annotation thing and be like, sorry, I did this, sorry, I did that. And it's just easier if I just put the thing up on the screen, which you have up on the screen now, right about now. Something out of 30. It would be average-ish. I'll give that away. But yeah, I always, because I kind of add up the scores as I go along. I don't really like doing it now, just because I prefer doing it, like go through it in my head and really thinking about it. And then if I do want to change it later on, all I got to do is go into Windows Movie Maker, type in the numbers. Well, actually, if it's that far down the line, then I probably wouldn't change it because I wouldn't have the bits, wouldn't have the audio and the MP4 files, so I probably wouldn't change it by that time. But if I did want to change it, then I could just go into Windows Movie Maker, change the numbers, and poof, done. But yeah, it's going to be rated about average, I'd imagine. I really enjoyed it. Matchmaking is a little bit too low, but I really like how they get you straight into the fray, straight into the battle with the map design and the game gimmicky, uniqueness, creativity, customization, goodness. So yeah, see ya.